Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube account and we have a lot of things that are coming down the pipeline. We have a lot of progression to make, including the Misty Valley. We got to clean out. There are a couple events that are up right now, a couple events that are going to be coming. Now, the calendar, or essentially what they're saying, is looking at Dolly's dialogue is pretty interesting. She talks about the hypogens. Now, we know we just got Lava Tune, which was very not too long ago, but you can see right in there's been some movement coming from the Hypogenians prison. So overall, what they're saying is December 19th is going to be the global release for the double Awakened Heroes. And both of the Awakened Heroes are going to be one Celestial and one Hypogenian. So again, there are going to be two double Awakened Heroes that are going to be in conjunction, and it is going to be from that War of Truth. So it's going to kind of run the story together with all of them, making sure that we do have them kind of going together. So get ready for it, guys. When you look at your Temple of Time or your time emblems, you're probably talking around 1,000 to 1,200 Temple of Time, depending on how they release them. That is really the big thing, guys, is a lot of players or a lot of the content that we've seen has said that they're going to give us free copies of some. All of the events that are going to be around the heroes are going to be focused on Temple of Time and Stargazer Scrolls. So hopefully we get a little bit of a build, or we get an ability to actually build out these heroes. So right now we are sitting tight pretty much with all of our resources. What is going on? Primo, Brian, and Apollonier is here as well. So like I was saying, we're kind of sitting tight with resources. Same with our Stargazer Scrolls. 125 scrolls, we have 30,000 diamonds. We're going to do some regular summons today. Want to hit up some beast summons as well, make sure we get those cleared out, and then hopefully we can get lucky. I'm going to save my furniture because, again, we know the heroes are coming. What's going on, Esta? So let's go ahead and get into some of the content, guys, which, of course, we want to go through the Misty Valley. Now, this part, guys, we actually just did the Heart of Morella yesterday, which this was kind of sad. It was kind of easy to run through there. That one guy, what is going on? Thanks for joining us for our Sunday stream, guys. As you can see, the room is finally painted. Just have to decorate a lot of what we have going on in here, but it is getting there little by little. So we're going to keep Thane in here and do the exact run through. Now this, of course, guys, this is an area that gives you just an incredible amount of resources. What's going on, Serbian Gamer? And Jaffa is here as well. This is a game mode, guys. You cannot neglect this. Free to play, pay to win, regardless of what it is, guys. This is just an absolute insane amount of resources that we get from this. Now, also, if you've noticed, they're doing a lot more events, and a lot more of the events that they're doing are going to be permanent. So what I mean by that is when we started with this was actually just one time. Then we seen the Treasure Scramble. That went to permanent. Now we're seeing the Treasure Vanguard. That is going to permanent. There's so many things that are changing within AFK Arena, and a lot of the events are going to permanency. So one thing that I kind of wondered, and I want to get your input on, is by chance, guys, if you're a newer player to AFK Arena, let's say, you know, the game is already 4 years in, but if you're a newer gamer to a newer player to AFK Arena, how overwhelming would it be to really try to figure out this game as of today? And I think, again, just kind of personal experience, some of the feedback that I get from newer players is there's so much content and there's so many things going on in AFK Arena, exactly what it would look like if you're a new hero trying to figure out. I mean, we have 150 heroes, which is kind of insane, but then you couple in, you know, signature items, then you put in engraving, then you put in furniture, then you put in artifacts and collections. It seems like it's a little bit overwhelming, and I know there's not a ton of guidance around it to really get the build. Now, we also did have Vika released. So Vika, of course, did come up, and overall, a lot of players not super impressed with Vika. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of utility for her. She was in the whale formations, which was pretty interesting when it came to the builds. And then when we looked at the leaderboards, nobody in the leaderboards were using her at all, which again is going to be kind of interesting to see if she is worked into some formations and exactly how she is in formations. I got bored, so I stopped playing for now, and it's fast paced. Yeah, and what I've noticed, Apollonier, is releasing the new game modes. Yes, there's a lot to it. And again, if you're a regular player, it seems okay. It really seems okay with the release schedule if you've been playing, and if you've been playing on a regular basis. Like I said, if you're looking to try to compete in so many different avenues. It is near impossible. And that is, again, why we went from 8 accounts down to 6 accounts, down to 3 accounts, and now we are at 2 accounts. I have this account, my YouTube account, and I have the free to play account. And that is it, guys. The time constraints to go through here and do this and actually do it well. And that's probably one of the big things that I really want to note is you could go in here, run multiple accounts if you have the time. Most of them are not going to be fully built. You're not going to see a lot of playtime because of the sheer amount of time it does take to play AFK Arena. When without any mage or support. So we'll hop in here and we need slash, or no, this one we just need whoever. So no mage, no support. So let's go warrior in here. We'll just drop in a few and get this one done. I try to explain things to newer friends and they find, yes, and that's it, Matthew. So I even have friends that do watch some of the AFK Arena content. They do not play the game and they're like, the knowledge base that I have of the game just from playing for an incredible amount of time, they're like, I have no clue what you're talking about, but you seem to know exactly what you're talking about, which is pretty funny. But yeah, when you're trying to explain it, especially with all of the builds, it is kind of crazy. What's going on, D2? D2, I know he is having a ton of fun over on the beta sale, as well as a couple of you guys. The beta sale is really cool. I really do like the beta sale. And AFK Journey, I feel like it's going to be kind of a hit or miss for a lot of different players. And I think it said the same class in here, which they don't have to be light bears in the same class, but we should have no problem getting it down. So AFK Journey, guys, we played the beta sale for a while. We've been playing over on the test server for quite a while. We still do not have a global release date. We haven't seen anything that is going to be the global release date as of right now. We're still waiting, but it seems like overall with the beta sale, it's going pretty well with everyone that is in there. And they kind of put it on a bigger scale. So there's a lot of people that are in there. So I'm hoping that essentially, if they get the green light saying a majority of things are working, I know we got some bugs, I know we got some fixes in there, but if we get a green light saying a majority of the things are still working or working as intended, they might actually come out with a global release date, which would be really cool to see. Because again, overall, I'm not super impressed, and I'll give you my honest impression of it, guys. I'm not super impressed with the overworld, where kind of the exploration overworld puzzle piece. Not super impressed with that. Now, I play Dragon Air as well over on the mobile gaming account. So if you've checked that out, Dragon Air is identical when it comes to the exploration, when it comes to the open world exploration piece of it. It is identical. It does the exact same thing functionality wise. It's really, really interesting to see, you know, how they are kind of identical in that aspect. Now, with that being said, the combat in the game is incredibly well done. The guild functionality is another part, guys, phenomenal when it comes to the guilds, when it comes to what you can do in the guild. And then, of course, when you do the exploration piece, when it comes to, again, like the bosses of the labyrinth, it's a lot more fun than what I find in AFK Arena for a lot of different game modes. And I feel like they could incorporate some of the things they're doing in there with AFK Arena, and it would work incredibly well, especially thinking of like a Risen Soren. They could change up the boss. They could change up with how exactly it works, and it could be a lot better. Honestly, as a free-to-play low spender, you probably have to go on your own speed. Yeah, and that's it, Kraken Crunch. It is the more you put into the game as of right now, you're going to get kind of a lot of return because of the content, because of the time it does take for the content. If you're going through here, guys, it is going to be, it's really at your own pace, and it's really the time constraints. That's what a lot of people, you know, that's what I hear probably the most about, is the amount of time that it takes to go through here and really finish out a lot of content. Vika is used in Curse Realm like sub for Awaken, like yes, Serbian. So that's what I talked about. If you guys checked out the guides from yesterday, it seems like that has been a really strong substitution. That Vika has been doing very well as a substitution for the Awakened version of Laika, which almost might be the reason why they built her. And I think we have what? Oh, we have 5 more hours on this. Let's go ahead and collect this. But overall, Vika, and if having the Awakened version of Laika makes me think don't build Vika. Now, of course, we know when it comes to the Mauler Tower, going to work incredibly well. But overall, it seems like Vika, that's really the only place that we're seeing the hero utilized at all right now. And again, if you have that Awakened version of Laika, most players are not running Vika, which again, we're going to have to see. What's going on, Dark Lucifer? They should double the time gazer rewards. So that, Primo, that was another combination or what we were talking about. So when it comes to the heroes, and again, we haven't got clarification on this. We haven't got a solid yes or no. Is we know as of right now, guys, when we get an awakened hero like the awakened version of Shemira, they give us 50 time emblems. In addition, you do get, I believe it is 12 that is going out of the skill release. So right there is 62. We usually get 10 right around, you know, whatever storyline they have going on. And then you also do get them in combination with the Voyage of Wonder that is going on. So when a hero is released, you get about 80 to 100 cards on average, I say would be pretty fair to say. So are they going to double that? Are they going to give us 200 cards? Which again, in my opinion, guys, if they're dropping 200 cards in here, that's about 35% probably of the hero build, depending on the RNG. Now, a lot of players are also questioning, are they going to do the reduced cost of summons? So when we do the Temple of Time, we know another release. Are they going to do literally everything in combination, guys? Are we going to get the double cards? Are we going to get a double summoning, you know, the reduction of the 8 cards to do the summons in here? Are they literally going to stack everything for 2 heroes? And then, like they had said, there are going to be a lot of events that are going to be around these heroes that are going to yield time emblems. So if they do this right and pull it off, I know a lot of players were not too happy when it comes to the build and the double heroes being together, but it really gives Lilith the opportunity. They could do this and they could do it well, coming out of the gate and it working incredibly well. Still enjoying the collections. Devin, I think the collections do work incredibly well. Now, one thing they're going to be doing with the collections that they've already told us, guys, is when it comes to the Ghoulish Gallery, is once you go through here, and I believe it is going to be at 50 completions, might be 30 completions. Again, I don't think they landed on it yet, Devin. But when you're looking at this game mode, there's going to be a point that you can just auto battle it. So essentially, you're just going to be able to, I guess, skip this game mode. I don't know if it is to a certain floor, kind of what we see with the Dismal Maze, but there's going to be a point that you can just auto battle the Ghoulish Gallery. At that point, it's not even going to make a difference. You can do your 7 runs in here every week. If you get crappy collections, go ahead and recycle them, but you'll be able to outfit heroes pretty quick, especially because removing the time constraint in here. Now, a couple things to remember is with the totems trigger specific things. For instance, Miracle Worker right here is the only way you can get double skill levels. And then some of these like crit rating, this is literally the only way you can get crit rating. Now, a lot of players were also saying, again, based on feedback, that they're going to change some of the totems and the availability to get the totems, possibly even being able to get more totems out of here with the wish list or streamlining the wish list. Again, we're going to have to see what exactly is going to be coming down the pipeline when it comes to the builds. Now, Temporal Rift, guys, we've been pushing through a lot of this. Again, looking for resources. We have 5 more days till this is done, but we pushed through our another 20 floors on there, so we'll go ahead and collect up all of our loot. Now, we got some more chests. This, of course, we're still looking for baits. Now, baits are the only thing that I'm building at right now till we get them all to level 18. Level 18 is what we're really looking to do. Yeah, and again, it's going to be interesting to see if they bring them up. Now, also remember, guys, if they're talking about doing the double Celestials and Hypogens, that means we're not going to have it's going to be a considerable amount of time before we get our next hero. Because remember, they're on a 2-week release schedule. The Awakened Heroes are on a longer schedule. But that means with the double release, as much as a lot of players are kind of against it, I do like the double release because that means for the next month, we are going to see 0 or should see essentially 0 heroes at that point because of the build that we have in there. Maybe when they put the Awakened gear, we'll start playing. Oh yeah, that would be kind of crazy. Or the tier 5 gear, depending on exactly where it's coming. These guys, we just continue to buy all of these out. This is what I focus on when it comes to building out all of the Temporal Rift. We look at all of the cards. Heroes I don't need at this point of AFK Arena, which even here, guys, Taylene and Aziz, I really wouldn't build. Brutus, you could build, but if you're starting to build here, I'm going to take an incredible amount of time. Solus is really the one, so even I would probably look at building out Solus and then buying all your cards would be really the good purchase to do in there. Collections just made it too much. Yeah, and that's it, Brian, and that's what a lot of players are saying. you're going to have to get to a point where you can auto run this. And I think for you and a lot of players, Brian, that's exactly what it is going to do. Is if I have the ability to come in the Ghoulish Gallery and I can just skip through this 7 times a week, that would make it incredibly easy to get through and farm out the collections. And even at that point, if I got crappy collections, I would be okay with it, because you know what? We got, we can essentially recycle the ones that we're not using. So let's use our stones, guys. I want to do some summons in here. Diamonds we're going to save. Now, of course, like I said, we know the heroes that are coming. I want to do the beast summons. We have a couple more to build to 18, and then everyone will be at 18. We have 32 rare stones in the case of a week, guys. That is a lot of heroes to recycle. 4 elite stones, which gives us, look at that. We got a meatball. We got Mizoth, the meatball. We do have Kren. Everything else is going to be recycled, but Mizoth is another hero that I have never built. So I have never built him. Will they double the free time emblems? Asta, that's what a lot of players are saying. Because essentially you have to think about it bigger picture, is if they release the Celestial, then they release the Hypogenean, they would give us emblems for both. So that's what a lot of players are saying. Are they going to literally just double up all of the time emblems? So again, giving us about 200 on there. Is the Double Awakened event already confirmed? What I've heard, yes, that the Double Awaken is coming, that it is around the event. Lilith has said, and this is coming straight from AFK Arena, that to stay with the storyline, with the war of Truth, I think it's called, but with the storyline, with the war, that is the reason why they have to release both of them at the same time to stay with the storyline. Now, I know a lot of players have said that it is going to be December 19th on Global, which means this week, guys, it is going to be on the test server. We should probably see it. Tuesday might be the patch notes, Wednesday. Now, what they've done before, though, is with these Celestials and the Hypogens, sometimes they do offer them, or they do come out on a different kind of schedule. We've seen them in some of the off days. They've also did the same when it came to Dimensional Heroes. Dimensional Heroes are another one that we've kind of seen on the off cycles where they've released notes or they've done a couple things outside of the regular ones. But yes, again, as far as I know, from what I've been told from everyone, that it is going to be the Double Awakened Heroes. Hope you're doing well. Do you have any idea when AFK Journey will be released? We're thinking very soon. So the official release to AFK Journey should be coming soon. The beta sale is going well. And again, this is really dependent, because if we see some major issues with the beta sale, then of course that could delay AFK Journey. But they're starting to release it to more individuals. They're starting to release the test server up. So I would imagine probably later this year or possibly early next year, we are going to have an official global release that is coming for AFK Journey, which is going to be really cool to see. Am I the only one upset that having another new hero as a Hypogenean Awaken, that's going to be 2 over a possible Awakened Mahira? Yeah, honestly, Andrew, it would be interesting to see if they did, because it's not really an awakened hero, even though classification-wise, the 2 new heroes are going to be awakened. They have no counterpart, similar to what we see with Matria. There is no counterpart to that one. And look at that, guys. We have just, from summons, built the meatball up a little bit. As much as I would like to see, again, some of the other heroes, like Mahira or awakened version of some of the other ones, honestly, I'm not too disappointed as long as they make the hero functionality-wise. I think a lot of newer players especially don't have any ties to a lot of the older heroes. A lot of people do not have the older heroes built, nor will they ever build the older heroes at this point. So coming out just kind of with a new hero, I think makes sense a little bit, just because, again, a lot of them, there wasn't quite the tie for that. I never got a skill up level from 40 runs. Yeah, it's super rare, those skill up levels. And what's going on? Upchipo? I forget the pronunciation, but let's do some summons in here, guys. We'll get this done. And then, of course, we're going to look at the beast. And we got a elite right off the bat, which is Angelo. Maybe we could pull another awakened hero. Last week, we did pull the awakened version of Belinda, which was awesome to see that we got another copy. But unfortunately, not this week. We got a lot of scrolls, too. Now, a lot of these scrolls did come out of the Lilith Pass. Now, we did see it from the Lilith Pass. Now, in the wish list, guys, we put Vika in there. Overall, we don't have very many heroes. We don't have very many heroes that are not already at 5 stars, but we're continuing to just recycle food in here. Big reason is the Elder Tree. We continue to build out that Elder Tree. There's a second copy of Angelo, but the Elder Tree does work incredibly well, and we are starting to get a lot of the branches of the Elder Tree just maxed out at this point, which I feel like we've just built heroes to a point where, and there's another copy of Savannah, that we're just kind of waiting. Honestly, we're really just kind of waiting. Do you know when they're going to release 2 Awaken? 19th. Universe, that is what the rumor is. That is what I'm hearing right now is going to be December 19th. And December 19th is going to be the global release. I'm just trying to get this to 20. I don't like when the numbers are kind of on the off ones. We'll burn a couple of these and we'll get to 20. There we go. 3 card on the table. Let's go ahead and look at our maulers because we still have Vika out there. Yeah, so again, that's what a lot of players are saying when it comes to the release of these heroes. And now they're also saying that we're going to get a free copy of a hero. Now, some of the rumors, I want to talk about some of the rumors that we see in their universe. Number one, a lot of players are saying, and again, this is kind of the rumors that I'm hearing. I stay up on Reddit, I stay up on Discord, a couple different places with the information. But a lot of players are saying that when it comes to the new hero being released, that they are going to give us a Legendary Plus copy. Now, that would make a game-changing difference, guys, if they do build out or if they do reward us with not just a Legendary copy like we see right here, but if they do give us a Legendary Plus copy, because essentially that's going to be foregoing 3 copies that we need of the hero. And I don't know if it's going to be everybody gets the same one or you have to choose your side, similar to what we had with Zephyriel and Lucretia, if you're going to have to choose your side. But again, a lot of players are saying they're giving us a Legendary Plus copy, and then you're getting all the rewards. So again, I feel like Lilith has a really, really good way that they could do this to make players happy, but not literally just give away ascended versions of the Awakened heroes, but make it a lot more feasible with the rewards that we're getting to actually build out the heroes and build out a multitude of heroes. Now, also take it with a grain of salt, guys, because remember, when it comes to building the heroes, most of the players, almost everybody, is not going to build them out day one, which is the purpose, guys. They are not meant to be fully built, ascended, awakened, everything else day one. That is not the point. If you're building them out day one, then you're a whale. Even looking here, guys, when you look at resources, you need 9,000 cores to get both of them to an E60. Here we need what, 36, 7, about 72, 7,500 of the elemental shards to build them. You need 600 chests. That is right, guys. 300 for one, 300 for the other. Little less because of the rewards they give, but roughly 600 red chests out of there, not including furniture like crazy to actually build these heroes out. So there's a lot that goes into it. What's going on, Jordan? Thanks for joining us for the stream. Yeah, who should I build out? Nearly done with Rem. And I'm doing Scarlet. Who to do? Honestly, I would probably look at some of the support heroes if you don't have them built out, Jeff. Looking at Palmer, looking at Jerome, absolutely build those out. Looking at Nakaruru or Naruko, I keep calling him Nakaruru. But again, a couple of these are really important to have built out because fundamentally they work incredibly well. Even looking at Ivan, depending who you have built out. Yeah, there's a lot of different heroes in here that are support heroes that work incredibly well if you do have those one built. I managed to get double skill up both. Yeah, the double skill up, again, is pretty rare, guys. Let's go ahead and do some beast summons. So over the week, we got 468, which I believe I did some additional summons, if you remember, because we max out this guy so we could actually have that little animated frame. But now we have a few more. So we got 4 summons in here. We have 1 of these in the bank. Let's see if we can keep pushing some more of these beasts up to 18. There's another spider, guys. I think we're 1 spider away. I think we are 1 spider away from actually having the spider built to 18, if I remember correctly. So we have 2. Yep, we are 1 away. Maybe we can pull a copy of a spider. 3 more chances in here. And again, guys, getting them to 18 is a lot. It is a lot to get them to 18. I recommend, even for my free-to-play account, is I'm building my beasts up to 12. And then I'm taking specific beasts higher, but 12 is really what I'm focusing on to actually build them out, not going with the full build, not really maxing them out because, again, the cost, guys, the cost is kind of crazy in there. Now, we also do have the final iteration, guys, that's coming up with the Star Zone. 3 more days. Now, this, of course, does yield time emblems. We need Stargazer Scrolls. We need time emblems. This event yields them both, which I do like a lot. We've actually gotten, I believe, 17 chests at this point. So right now, we should have no problem getting another copy of these heroes because we only need 3 more out of 2 runs we've already done. We've gotten 17 of these chests, and we've gotten 0. That is right, guys, absolutely 0. There's a copy of Nevi. But we have gotten 0 of the actual full built Awakened heroes in there, which are kind of crazy. Can I have an account? Yeah, they're free. You just got to go open one, Daniel. It'll work incredibly well. Which of these would I recommend to 60? A Mulan, Anasa, Iran, Naruko, or Palmer? To go to 60, I would probably go with probably Palmer in there. Or if you're using Orin. So Orin, of course, works incredibly well if you're taking Orin to 60. So even out of that next, but I would go with Orin or I would go with Palmer. Amelia can be built, but not a huge need. Anasta is one that, again, starts kind of fading out. And Naruko, I don't even have at 60. But Orin for a damage dealer, and that is if you don't have Thane. So if you don't have that Awakened version of Thane, I would go with Orin. Again, he is the substitute for that Awakened version of Thane, which works incredibly well. Do you think that the 2 Awakened will be a must build? I feel like there's going to be one that is a priority, just like we've seen before. So what I mean by that, guys, when we look at Liberta, Liberta is 100% the priority. This is the hero that you want to build much longer before you build out Lucilla. Overall, the utility of Liberta is through the roof. Lucilla is a good one to have, but can be replaced pretty easy in formations. So I feel it is going to be the exact same, guys, that it's going to be one that is going to be super effective or one that is going to work a little bit better. And then one that is going to be kind of the supplement hero or the support hero for the other one. It's also going to make a big difference on what classifications they come in. If they come in as a tank, if they come in as double support, depending what they kind of come into AFK Arena as is going to make a really, really big difference as well, guys. I'm going to go ahead and just drop some formations in here. And that way we can sit here and I can answer some questions and kind of focus on that for a little bit. So again, it's going to be pretty interesting to see, because if they come in as the tanking spec, a lot of times we don't see, as much of the effectiveness or as much of the need for the heroes if they're falling into the tanking spec. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Are they going to skip the Wilder because it's been a while? Yeah, so Matthew, a lot of players have been actually talking about that. I'm assuming that once they do this release, the next hero is going to be a Wilder, because now the Wilders are missing a hero. If you look big picture, they are missing a hero at this point. Trishia was the last one, and it's been a long time. They should absolutely, like mid to late January, yep, should be a hero in there. All of them I'm doing, Naruko is mythic, but they're all 1-star. Doing all the builds on the YouTube shorts. Yeah, the YouTube shorts, like I said, for Naruko, I don't even have her built up to that 60. The cost and the return for me is not there. It's not there. Just imagine everyone's face. Turn out these 2 will be regular. Oh, that would be hilarious. Zoltan, if they came out with just 2 regular heroes not awakened. Yeah, I can't even imagine what players would do at that point. But that is pretty funny to think that the possibility of doing that, of coming out with 2 heroes. Now this one, I might swap it up a little bit. I might drop our Awakened hero in here. And this, of course, just kind of based on the seal. I'm going to drop out, let's drop out Nevi. There we go. We'll try this one. Yeah, that would be kind of crazy, because now all these players have time emblems and essentially nothing to do with them because they're not Awakened heroes at this point. Save me a resource since I got chests to 650 cores. Also, D2 is ready. Saving everything, not buying anything. Yeah, and that's what I've been doing, D2. Like I've said before, guys, when you look at the progression in AFK Arena, this is what I've been doing. This has really been the grind in here. So I actually go through a bunch of different towers and literally just go back and forth between all of the towers that are in there. And it does work, and it works incredibly well. Honestly, when you look, just going back and forth through the towers, doing my regular cycle in there, this is how I farm all the cards. And again, that's really the big thing, guys. You have to farm the content, and you have to farm it every day. You can't be missing some of the content or making progression, because this is what is going to give you your Stargazer scrolls and your time emblems both. This is really the place. Cool. I asked a question on Discord. Yeah, Jeff, if you got questions, pop them in here. If I don't see them or get to them, a lot of players in here, like D2, have a crazy amount of knowledge of AFK Arena. Definitely pop any questions you have in there. What is going on, JJP? I genuinely hate the Ghoulish Gallery. So the Ghoulish Gallery, like I said, you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt. You want to go through it if you want to stay competitive. That's one of the biggest things. Me personally, I like the Ghoulish Gallery. I like how it is built, and I think it's more for me of kind of the baseline fundamentals of how the Ghoulish Gallery works, how the gameplay is. I think they need to take some of the RNG factor out of it. That is kind of the part where I'm getting caught up with the Ghoulish Gallery, JJP, is looking at the RNG aspect that you can do, half a dozen runs and you don't get nothing out of it. And it sucks with the ones because you're burning all of these legendary totems and you're getting 0 out of it, which again, they need to get. I have 7 pets at 6 and I have 3 secret spices. Should I get new pets or upgrade what I have? I would take them to 9. So the big thing with the beast guys, there's really 2 break points when it comes to the beasts. Number 1, getting them all to level 9 makes a big difference. So and this is really up to you personally. Taking it to 9 or 11 is the place you want to take the beast guys. So again, on my free to play account, I have them at 9. I'm taking all of them to 12. Once I get them to 12, I'm taking individual beasts at that point up higher than 12. Again, you really have to choose what you're going to build in there and how you're going to build them. But once we get to the point of getting them to 12, 12 is where all of the beasts are going to stay. Because of course, if you're building them to 9 or if you're building them at 12, when new beasts come out, you're already going to have them built, which is huge. Is it true that the new Awakened heroes are the dads for Liberta and Lucilla? So Kraken Crunch, what I have seen or what I've heard from over on AFK Inside is that the parents for Liberta and Lucilla, and again, kind of looking at the storyline, from my understanding, the parents of Liberta and Lucilla are dead. The 2 individuals that are in the game, which Eugene, and I forget the other one's name, I always forget the second one's name, but Eugene, so the Celestial and the Hypogenean that raised Liberta and Lucilla, so almost like foster parents is what I guess the storyline is, that they took them in when their parents were killed in this war. And it is kind of the foster parents that raised Liberta and Lucilla. And that is how it goes with the War of Truth. And again, that's what I've seen from the Chinese servers and what AFK Inside has shared is that's the difference between them. So it's not their dads. It's not the parents. It's the individuals that raised them when the parents were killed. Lilith, a lot of time in this game, goes pretty dark with a lot of the content. And I think that's another part, guys, where a little bit darker with the deceased or the dead parents. And again, we've seen it a lot with some of the heroes, that's kind of the creepy, dark scare. But again, that's what I understood from reading the story, that it was. Not too long ago, I reached 451 of the Greyborn Tower. Yes, Raphael. 2 formations in the towers get incredibly, incredibly difficult. That is where you start struggling. When you get a little bit further and you get into 3 tower floors, which is exactly where we are now, it just continues to get more difficult. It really does. The ability to come up with 2 sets of heroes, but then now to come up with 3 sets of heroes, it does get a little bit more difficult. And I didn't even see that we changed floors in here, guys. Most of the time when you change floors, you have to come in here and you have to change your comps based on the floors that you're using. So I'm going to go ahead and swap those. That way we can get through here. Am I allowed to put Discord account in chat? What do you mean? Yeah, you can. So if you're in my Discord, guys, go in general. You can put your formations in that. Yep, just let them know, hey, help me out. I believe there is also a tab in there for the formations. So specifically in there, Jeff, and like I said, there's a ton of players over in Discord that will absolutely look at what you need. Is there a step-by-step guide on what to do, which relics to use, and how to optimize them for certain heroes. Are you talking about the Ghoulish Gallery, JJP? Let me know. Yeah, we have a lot of guides. There's a lot of guides out there for the Ghoulish Gallery. There's even, if you look in the guide section of YouTube, I covered the guides, both the PvP spec for the collections and also the regular spec for the collections. And all of the guides have links down below if I can. If the new Awakened heroes are nothing special, which Awakened hero should I build? I have Belinda, Solus, and Thane. Honestly, if you have those, Matthew, the Awakened version of Athalia. So, of course, the Awakened version of Athalia, just like Chimera, is being used everywhere. There isn't a game mode because of the multitude of teams that we're not seeing the build with those specific heroes. So again, you're going to find them and you're going to use them anywhere that they're being used. They're being used literally everywhere in AFK Arena, which is kind of crazy. You can definitely look at that. Who should be my next Stargazer priority? Vathiel, Lucilla, or Lavatoon? Lavatoon. So the big thing, and the way that I look at it, Ricardo, is Demia works incredibly well in a lot of different game modes. Liberta is a must-have within those two. They're definitely a build. After I built Liberta and after I built out Demia a little bit, I would probably go in and I would build Lavatoon. Lavatoon might even be before Demia. Again, based on the utility, but we're seeing Lavatoon, Demia, and Liberta being used in every single formation. When it comes to Lucilla, we do see some of the builds in there. Which Treasure Vanguard team are you on? I think I'm on the 4th team on this account, and the other one I'm on, I think, the 3rd team. So I do have a little variation of the teams that I am on with the Treasure Vanguard, which again, it is kind of RNG with this game mode. We're on 4 right now. We've been in 4 this entire time. We haven't been making a ton of progression. And overall, guys, I feel like this, as much as you don't think it is, I think there's a pretty big random aspect in this. Just who you're matched with, exactly who you're building. And also operations, I am just doing this Occupy because of my teams. We're all built out. I got all my PvP formations in there. But the camp, we're just slowly building out. We'll have to see if we're going to stay in 4, if we're going to stay in this exact same place that we are. My other free-to-play account, I'm in 1. Which is funny. Yeah, we're still in 1 within that. Wicked Athalia has a dark part, which little girl. Yeah, and again, Beacon, that's a lot of them. So if you guys remember, like looking at the lore that they did with like Valoris, that was kind of creepy, and I believe it was Valoris where she's murdering people that are coming to save her. They've done a lot of pretty dark content through time. When it comes to the heroes, we have seen a lot. Yep, Lucretia Sunby is killed by the own father. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot where it gets pretty dark, and a lot of it has gotten some of it has gotten pretty dark. And I know I've seen a lot of comments on the videos in a lot of different places. You know that players have just talked about how dark some of the content, some of the cinematics that they make for this game. The new Awakened are the foster parents. They should be stronger. Christ, it's hard to imagine. Yeah, and that's it, Augusto. And that's, again, what a lot of players are saying, is if they raised Liberta and Lucilla, they should be much stronger. Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be interesting to see where they go with it, how it works, and how effective, again, they kind of are. Slowly making progression with the crystal. Yeah, the crystal takes time. That is it, guys. I did the Robin Hood exchange. Yes. Good job, Raphael. Now, if you've noticed, guys, a lot of the content and a lot of the things that we've talked about where Robin Hood didn't seem like he's being used in a lot of different places, we're starting to see him used in places, which is good, versus building a hero essentially that you're not going to use. But Robin Hood is starting to show up in the Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor. And then we're also starting to see him, of course, in the Treasure Scramble. I feel like you could see him in a couple other places. It might just take time before we see him there. There's going to be a time I feel like the heroes are going to be used. Could be now, might just be a little bit later. But overall, if you have Robin Hood from the exchange, you're not going to have to purchase him later. If he's not used, it sucks you have a hero that you're not going to use. Now, with that being said, Raphael, a lot of players are just pausing to build him. So a lot of players are not putting the resources in to really build him up high. And again, you don't have to at this point, unless you are using him within those couple formations, but time will tell exactly where the hero is used and if the hero is used in a lot of different content. That's really going to make a big difference. Hi, Hippo. Almost missed stream. What is going on, Winnie? Thank you for joining us for the stream. Always good to see a lot of regular players follow me in the stream, which I absolutely love, guys. It's really cool to build a relationship with you guys and seeing and getting the questions in here. And it's been years, guys. We're going on, I believe, 3 years, probably almost going on 4 years of YouTube. Kind of crazy, you know, 35, almost 36,000 subscribers. We're almost to 6,000 subscribers on the finance channel. And I'm loving it, guys. I enjoy YouTube. It's such a cool platform to be able to communicate with you guys and actually being able to talk to you guys about AFK Arena because there's literally no one else in my life that, short of you guys, that I do talk to about this game. It's awesome to see. I absolutely love it. Halfway through chapter 38. Yeah, you want to push to 41. You want to complete 41. That is really the big part. You 100% because of the Misty Valley. You want to maximize those rewards in the Misty Valley, and that, of course, is going to come through getting 441. They should just give us a dimensional tower. Yes, Serbian Gamer, 100%, absolutely. Who is better, Liberta or Lavatoon? Honestly, I would go Liberta. And the logic behind it, Kraken Crunch, is if you can borrow Liberta, you'll have it covered. You're completely fine if you're borrowing a decent built Liberta. But if you do not have Liberta is a primary hero in a ton of formations. Again, if you don't have the hero itself, you're not going to be able to build out as well, or you're not going to be able to progress as far within the competitiveness of a couple different builds. Lavatoon works incredibly well, but can also be replaced with other support heroes. Again, if you've seen some of the stuff that I put out last night with the Curse Realm and the Nightmare Corridor, they have the substitutions in there for Lavatoon. Now, Lavatoon, of course, is the best in slot in the different game modes, but if you don't have Liberta, you don't have the team. That's it. It is most of the teams where Liberta is the primary damage dealer. That is really the driving force. If you don't have Liberta built, you're not going to be able to. What do you think of Lilith adding SI resonance or engraving resonance? I would love it. That would be an absolute 100,000% game changer, Devin. I think they needed to for furniture. I want to see a furniture resonance. So let's say you reach 500 pieces of furniture. Let's say you just get the 3 of 9. You hit 1,000 pieces of mythic furniture. You get a 9 of 9 on everybody. It would be cool. I would absolutely love to see it. What is going on, Hell Knight? Thank you for joining us for the stream. Yeah, if they did SI resonance, engraving resonance, furniture resonance, it would change AFK Arena. And they're going to have to do something to a point because of the amount of content. Like I said, guys, I feel like that there are a lot of newer players that come to AFK Arena that are lost. That I don't feel like the game, especially early game, there's so much to it. It's incredibly difficult to get through some of the content because there is so much and it is so in-depth. I mean, on a whole nother level, when you look at everything else, you know, everything we have in this game, it's insane with how much content is here. Again, if you're a newer player not familiar with AFK Arena, it's going to be a massive, massive learning curve in this. Here about 2 years, really thankful for the content. Oh, thank you, Evans. Yeah, like I said, guys, YouTube was a recommendation of players in Discord. So most of you know that I was in Casuals. Casuals was one of the absolute biggest guilds in AFK Arena once upon a time. Sharing knowledge in there, talking about a lot of things. And a lot of players from the guild in there said, you know what? You should absolutely start a YouTube channel. Had some conversations over on Discord, a couple different places. And that is where the YouTube journey was actually born. It was pretty cool. It's pretty cool to look back and see, you know, kind of where we came from. Lilith said they won't be releasing the Dimensional Tower soon because of copyright issues with some of the Dimensional heroes. See, now I don't know, and that's a good question, Beacon, because you're not using the heroes for anything outside of their likeness with the Dimensional heroes. And if they only kept it one team, you know what? You can buy more than 5 Dimensional heroes out of there. So it'd be really cool. What island did you get in the Frosty Isles? I got 39 before the drop stopped. I think I'm the same, Winnie. I believe I'm the exact same, if I remember correctly. I think it was 37 to 39. I think I'm literally identical. I'll check it as soon as we win this one. And guys, the tower, again, I cannot stress enough how important it is to push this tower, but it does take a long time. When you start getting into multiple teams, the time and effort you have to put in here, guys, there's a lot. There's a lot to the tower. There's a lot of time and effort into this specific game mode to get it done, but you have to push this. It is very, very important. What do you do with guild coins? I have a lot of them in the mailbox while I'm capped at 200K. So I go through a cycle, Elvin. So I make sure that I have dimensional gear. So what I do is when I see a piece of dimensional gear, especially if you are capped, I have a list. Most of you know, again, if you've been following my channel for a while, I am a big proponent of writing things down. So I have all 3 of your dimensional gears. I make sure that I have a set of dimensional gear that is already there. That way, if a dimensional is released, I already do have gear in there. That way, again, if a hero doesn't come up, and you know what? I can let this, there we go, we finished the battle. Let me look for Winnie really quick. Let me take a look, because I thought it was 39. It is 39. Boom, dead on Winnie. So that might be AFK's spot of where they kind of put the pause. We got to 39 and the drop stopped. So this is where we're going to stay. They want us to spend $1 to try to get to 40 or more money to try to go further. But it is Island 39. I thought that was exactly where I stopped. Guys, drop it in chat. Drop in chat what island you stopped at for the Celestial Isles, because we're at 39. Winnie's at 39. I think a lot of players are around the exact same island. So the RNG factor, and we've tested this a couple years since they've been doing this, but the RNG factor might take us to roughly 39, which is kind of crazy. Double Awakened haven't been 100% confirmed from Lilith, but have been confirmed from a multitude of other sources, including it's already in the code. Shahid, that is the thing, is it is already in the code. They've already seen it. It shows December 19th that it is going to be the release. So again, it's not official if you want to go that way. Officially a release that is going to be the Double Awakened, but it is in the codes. It is already in that code. But like I was saying, with the dimensional gear is in the tower, I buy out the dimensional gear. So looking at our guild store, I believe I just bought a piece right here. So I bought the Mage, the Caster dimensional gear, and I do that on a regular basis when I have the pieces, and making sure that I have the dimensional gear in here, right there. So I have a hat right there. I just bought the robes, which are right there. I keep one full set of dimensional gear because I know we cap the coins on reserve. So I do, and I build them through with the dimensional gear. If you're capped, don't let it go to waste, guys. Absolutely do not let it go to waste. Stopped at 40 free to play. So there you go, Kraken. So that is where we got. I 116. Beacon of Hope is purchasing it up, getting to 116 in there. That is kind of crazy. Stopped at 40. Yeah, 35, 37. So that's it. Probably about 35 to 37. Citizen, floor 50. Not sure if you purchased any in there, but floor 50 seems like a little bit of a stretch if you're doing the free to play. And D2 got to 35. Now, we used to buy the 99-cent packs in here, and then they released these ones, so 17 keys for $1. And then, of course, this pack goes away, but we used to buy the regular daily deals, so actually picking up this one all the time. I used to buy this one every day. Now, again, looking at the Noble Society, guys, we don't buy the premium pass on this one. The second level of the premium pass, Twisted Bounty, we do the same. Saves us 40 bucks a week, which is pretty nice to see. Currently, at the moment, my Misty Valley selectional rewards are hours, gold, diamonds, elite. Is that what you're... Oh, yeah, you got to get a little bit further, FAL. Keep pushing that. I was on Island 40, bought the $1 pack and missed out on 3 Stargazer Scrolls. That stinks to buy the $1 pack and still miss out on there. 43 just dailies. Yeah, that is pretty lucky. And he has a pattern. I would love to see your pattern in there. If you're spending money in the game. So the best things to buy within AFK Arena, number one is being your advancement packs. The advancement packs give you 45,000 diamonds out of there. And then, of course, over here, the monthly cards. I buy the monthly cards out religiously. The reason being right here. Guys, you get one of these in the shop every single day, which means you get 30 a month. If you're buying this one, you literally double the amount of cards. So you can actually get 60 a month. And then of course I get my bait out of here or red chest, depending what you're looking for. And then I get my cores out of here. So literally, if you're getting the awakened hero out of here, you're getting your red chest out of here, you're getting your cores out of here, you have everything you need to build heroes. Really, this deluxe monthly card, I feel like a lot of players might overlook it, but for the return of those time emblems, it is well worth it. Even if you go in here, if you did the 600 diamonds, 600 a day, it adds up, guys. When you look at 10 days, when you look at 30 days, when you look at an entire year, this adds up. But again, when you look at 365 days, getting another 365 of these cards is game changing. It is literally game changing when you go in there. That means, well, yes. And Shahid, that's what a lot of players are talking about. What is it going to look like with the time emblems? We're thinking roughly around 200. That's it. It's really about the 200. As a little whale myself, I buy all noble societies. So I did D2 up until last month. So I did not buy these last month. I did not buy these this month. I definitely could. I might pick them up because I think we're done with these. Resetting in 4 days, resetting in 10 days. But again, looking at these on the 45-day rotation, we try to cap it at $100 a month. Now, we get this from, the memberships. You can see a lot of players in here with their little hippos next to their name. From the memberships, we put it back into AFK Arena. From the super chats, from the donations, we put them back into AFK Arena. That is honestly YouTube. Part of YouTube was to fund my spending addiction with AFK Arena, which is kind of crazy. But when we made the pay to win account, guys, all of the donations that come from YouTube go back into this, as well as some of the YouTube generated AdSense. The revenue that we get out of there, again, goes back into AFK Arena. It funds my $100 a month spending habit that I have with the game itself. But overall, guys, there's a lot that is coming down the pipeline. A lot more events that are going to be coming down the pipeline. 2 of the new, again, Celestials and Hypogeans are going to be coming down the pipeline. If they give us another 200 cards with the release of both of those, if they give us copies of some of the heroes, we could possibly build one of them fully out. And then, of course, we're saving the rest of our resources here to continue building out when those heroes. So essentially, even when it comes to our Poe coins, we have paused it as of right now. We know we have a lot of heroes in the wish list that are already built out. I mean, Liberta's at 21 furniture, which is kind of crazy. But we're still building these heroes out. Lavatoon, of course, we need that 9 of 9. Ivan, we need that 9 of 9. But we can drop out 2 of these within here, put in the 2 new heroes, and be able to build them out and build them out pretty quickly, which is going to be pretty interesting. We can also drop Vika in here. Now, overall, damage dealers, I'm going to drop out Mahiro right here, or Matria right there. And I'm going to put Vika in here because we're going to build Vika out. We build all of them, guys, eventually, but we're just kind of pausing this right now to see exactly what comes with these Celestials and Hypogeans. It's going to be pretty interesting. What do you think of Arthur's new skin? So that is Arthur's old skin, Raphael. So Arthur's skin was released about 2 years ago during the summer. They're just bringing the returning skins back. Both of these are old school skins. The thing that I don't like is when you look at this, so Flora isn't really used, Arthur isn't really used. So if you buy the skin, the chances of you actually seeing the effect or using it within combat is not going to be used. They're 2 heroes, unfortunately. And I love Arthur, guys. He is probably one of my favorite stories of lore. But overall, if you get the skin, you're not going to use it. That's what I don't like, is you're not really going to see a lot of utility with it that you normally see. Who should I get first, Merlin or Leonardo? Merlin. I would get Merlin because Merlin is still being run in a lot of different formations. Leonardo has a couple places that he's running the campaign formations, but overall, guys, Merlin is still having a lot more utility than we're seeing with Leonardo, but they both work incredibly well. Who did you say I should speak to help me? If you drop the information over there, Jeff, people will respond. They always do. How do I like the Vanguard? The Vanguard, in my opinion, guys, is really just free loot. There isn't really much of anything to do in this game mode, which kind of stinks. So I come in here every time that I'm on, I go ahead and I occupy this quest. That's it. There isn't really a lot more to do in here. I'm wondering if I could ever by chance be like the Vanguard, meaning that I can attack other players, things of that nature. I don't even know if that's a thing. But overall with here, I mean, we've already maxed out. I think the rewards are maxed out at this point because we have what, 5 stars right there. We have 5. So the rewards are done in here. Even looking at everything else, I think we've maxed out everything in here. But at this point, it's pretty much done. We just sit and wait for the end of the thing rewards, the end of the time, because we're not a commander in here. That's it. We'll just sit and wait. Like I said, I like the game mode, but there's not much to it. And a lot of the game modes seem kind of the same, like Treasure Scramble. Set your teams, guys. Go in here, set all of your Treasure Scramble teams. That's it. You just let it run. You know, the time and effort it takes. If you're taking, 5-10 minutes to set all of your Treasure Scramble teams, set the teams, forget it for the rest of the event. Just wait to collect the loot at the end. And that's all you really have to do for the account, which is cool. Can Awakened Leica be replaced by a non-awakened hero? So yes, they are replacing the awakened version of Leica with Vika. So I don't know if you've built out Vika for the Maulers yet, but she has been. And again, a lot of the guides are showing that she is the replacement for the awakened version of Leica. So Vika is the replacement that we're seeing if you don't have Leica. So if you're not building the awakened, Vika is your next choice. What is the wish list in the Ghoulish Gallery? So this, I really look for the eye. So in here, the levels, of course, very important. You want the levels and you want this one as well. Now I put both of these in there, which I don't like. I think if I hold it, they said, some of these, like is it this one? Let me take these out. And I'll tell you the logic. Number one, you have to have the eye because you can't get the second one. So if you're actually building this out, if you're looking to get a skill level 2, you have to have this. That's it. There's no other possibility. There's no other way to get the second skill level in there if you do not have this totem. Now, looking at, oh, and I think it just reset them in there. But also looking at the level, this again is the other one to go in here and make sure that you get the wish list. If you're looking for a level 2 totem, this is what you want, guys. If you're trying to get the collection to level 2, that is what you want to build. Now, a couple other ones like the energy recovery rate right down here, this is the only way you can get it, period. There is no other place in AFK Arena, in the collections, you cannot get ERR or the energy recovery rate without this totem, period. Now, the same rings true with the crit, which I think it is this one. The only way to get crit, period, you will never see a crit unless you have this totem in. So you figure you have the levels, you have the crit, you have the energy recovery, and you have the eye right here, or I forget exactly what it's called. But if you do not have these in here, you will never see any of these. You will never see them at all. You can't get the level 2 without this one. You can't get the levels really very, very rare, I would say, without having the level up. You can't get the crit. You can't get the energy recovery without these specific totems, which is the reason why I put these in here. Rest of the totems, it doesn't really seem to make a big difference. So most players are just recycling these and trying to get them into legendary totems. I'm going to go ahead and recycle them because, again, every time I run through here, I want to run the legendary totems because I'm building them out specifically for very, very specific heroes. I don't know if this really does make a big difference because some of these, again, a lot of players were saying, I use them, I don't use them, you shouldn't use them. We don't know. I don't know, short of getting those legendary ones in there. What is the build for Vika? I have a short, Elvin. If you look at the short, it is actually the very first one that is there. That's what I thought. I thought the Treasure Scramble, I thought the Treasure Commanders can attack, but again, have to be super heavy PvP. You think they'll ever do an Awakened Dimensional Hero? Originally, Chase, they said no. They said there would not be an Awakened Dimensional Hero, but we've seen it change. They always said the Awakened Heroes would be Awakened version of heroes, and then they did Matria, which of course there is no counterpart, or there is no non-awakened version of the hero. So again, it's kind of crazy. I thought crit damage amplification was crit. No. So Devin, one is crit damage amplification. So one is how often you crit right here. CDA, crit damage amplification, And up here is your crit rating. They are two different ones. One is how often you crit. The second one, the crit amplification, is how hard you crit. So that is kind of the big one, is the difference between it. Now, CRA, CDA, yeah, so one is how often you crit. The second one is how hard you crit. Now, that is the reason why Palmer is such a wide utility hero, is because he was actually, and I believe the first hero that allowed you to get more crit damage amplification, which again is something that we haven't seen before. But getting an ability to do the crit and the crit damage amplification was one of the first heroes that did offer that. Where do you rank Awakened Chimera? Should she be built? Yes. So the Awakened version of Chimera does rank in the SSS class. She is right up there with Athalia and the Awakened version of Belinda and Chimera. They are some of the highest utilities in every single game mode period that they're being used. Can you show Liberta's room in the Oak Inn? Does Liberta have an inn? I don't think there is one. Liberta's not awakened. I'm not sure. Oh, the room in the Oak Inn. Oh, I understand you. I think you mean the furniture. Sorry, I misunderstood that. Not the engraving, the inn. Yep, this is how I have it built. So the hanging furniture you want to build first. The reason being, down here, the hanging furniture gives haste. So that is the big one. So if you look, guys, the hanging, because you have the large furniture, the small, and then you have the hanging. The hanging, this is the one that increases haste for Liberta. So you do want to make sure Liberta does have the build. Should I continue Awaken Leica or wait for the double Awaken? Honestly, Patrick, I would pause. So when we have a hero that is going to be released, especially with the new heroes, it's unclear at this point what is going to be the impact of the new heroes. Are they going to be, 110% an absolute priority when it comes to the Awakened heroes? Again, I would kind of pause at this point to see exactly where they come in and where they fall into tier lists when they're released. Because essentially you could have a new hero that comes in and replaces one of the current heroes, including the Awakened version of Leica. You could see a much bigger impact or some of the changes. Haste is almost number one. Yeah, haste is the strongest, guys. If you look, again, looking at any of these heroes, the strongest ability or the strongest one that we have in AFK Arena is haste. It's always been haste. It increases the speed of your attacks and also the speed of the ultimate abilities. Haste has been the priority for just about everybody because you're going to be triggering abilities more often. Let me hop over, guys. I want to do the gifting of the membership. We do this every single time, so let me make sure that we do not forget the membership gifting. I want to make sure that we do this, guys. I do it as a give back. So if you're joining us in the streams, at the end of every stream, we go ahead, we do the gifting of the membership, and it'll pop up in just a moment in there once it kind of goes through. So there is your one gifting membership that is going out to one lucky viewer. And again, we do this every time, and Asta gets it. And I think there's a couple of you that probably have it a couple times or have some of the different colored hippos in there, because the hippo changes with time, guys. If you got the hippo multiple times, you do get it different times. So Asta, congratulations for getting the membership for this week. I have enough engraving to 60. Which one should I go for? Sophia, Tamariz, Amelia. Awakened version of Sophia. The big reason for that, Peter, is if you do not have the Awakened version of Sophia built, you're missing part of the skills. You're literally missing a bucket of skills within here for the hero. All of the Awakened heroes have to have the 30960. So the plus 30 signature item, the 9 of 9 furniture, and the engraving, or you're missing a chunk of the skills. Absolutely, the Awakened version of Sophia would be the priority, unlocking everything that she has. I have duplicate mythic furniture on the hero. I had 2 hanging furniture. Yes, you can level them up. So Zoltan, you can level up the furniture within the builds themselves. So if you have duplicate furniture, you can level it up. And again, that's the specific way to do it. So when you come down here, you can actually strengthen the furniture, which is the reason that we build them up a little bit higher. Adding more stats to certain heroes make a big difference. Now, I don't recommend it for a majority of players. Now, I kind of say that with a grain of salt. The reason why I have Liberta at a plus, I believe 21 or 22 furniture, is because we're competitive in a lot of game modes. That is the reason why a lot of my Awakened Heroes have higher furniture, or even the reason why some of my Awakened Heroes have all of these stars, why they're built up much higher with the engraving, is because we're competitive within the PvP mode and also maximizing the damage in a bunch of different game modes. Does work incredibly well. You have to have them built out higher to build out the effectiveness. And again, that's why we've continued to take them a little bit higher. Thank you. Got it again. Look at that. Estelle joining us as a member for 3 months. Thank you for supporting the channel. That is absolutely amazing. And you do have a different colored hippo right now. So it's really cool. It goes from like the red, which is the 1, or the white is the 1. It's got a white background. And then you kind of go from there. Even Jordan's got a golden hippo. D2 has a golden hippo as well. Depending on how long you've been a member of the channel, your hippos get upgraded to different tiers, which is really cool to see, guys. But again, we know this week should be a big week for AFK Arena. So definitely get ready for this week, because ultimately, you know, on the test server, we should see the double Awakened Heroes, which of course is going to tell us exactly how many time emblems we're going to be getting with them if they're doing a double release. And in my opinion, if they do not do it correctly, so if they kind of do us wrong with the amount of time emblems that we should be getting from a regular Awakened Hero. So if they cut it in half, only do it with 1, there's going to be an absolute massive uproar. And I shared this with them, you know, if you're doing double Awakened Heroes, you have to reward us as if you were releasing 1 at each time, meaning that we should get roughly 200 emblems. Absolutely. You should 100% build it out. I remember back when Belinda was released, there was engraving reset for Belinda. Yeah. So the reason for that, Peter, when the Awakened version of Belinda came out, she was bugged. She was really bugged. So if you maxed her out, she didn't work as well as not having her maxed out. So I'm thinking though, with the double heroes that are coming, we might see some engraving resets. They're also talking about doing a couple different things for resets. Possibly doing an Awakened Hero swap. I think there's going to be a lot of different things that are going to change, that they're going to help us kind of build more heroes faster. But we're going to have to wait and see exactly what is coming down the pipeline and how this is going to work, guys. But all right, so that'll do it for today's stream. Again, big shout out for all of the members of the channel. Thank you guys for coming and spending time with me on the Sunday. It does mean a lot to me, guys. I love doing the live streams, being able to answer questions and being able to talk to you guys. So again, there's a lot that is coming. Continue to grind. You want to get through chapter 41 for the Misty Valley. Also making sure Temporal Rift you're pushing, Peaks of Time is done. All of these, including the King's Tower, you want to go through as much as possible, guys, to make some progression. Didn't I say that Awakened Chimera was the last? They're going a little bit off of the story. So that's kind of it, Hell Knight. It was supposed to be the very last one for this year, but it seems like they're going to do it early, which makes me wonder, are we going to get 4 Awakened Heroes in 24? Or are they going to do the same thing where there's 6 in 24? It's going to be very interesting to see exactly what is going to happen. And you know what? They know and we don't, unfortunately. So as we do get new information, guys, make sure you sub to the channel. We're going to be putting out all of the new AFK Arena content as we already have for years, making sure that we keep you up to date on everything. So guys, have a good weekend. Have a good Sunday. I got some shopping to do. We're going to put up the Christmas tree and get everything ready today for the holidays because they are right around the corner. So again, guys, thank you for all the love and support for the channel. Have a good weekend and thank you guys for watching.